What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Share this out as well. It's a very tough time in the offseason for NFL content creators, so sharing it out, getting it out to new people always helps them, including myself. Also, turn on that notification button so you know when the live stream pops to your drops. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts for both Twin Bill and Big Blue in the Bronx would be appreciated. I'm going to talk 2 seconds about NYY News TV Day. We'll have more on it on the Big Blue in the Bronx podcast. So if you want to hear about NYY News TV Day, if you want to see if you get a shout out, go and, obviously tune into Boys in the Big Apple tonight. So with that being said, appreciate the people who showed up. That was a fun experience. The Yankees got no hit and I got sunburned. But with that being said, it is what it is. And sometimes I forget about the no-hitter and the sunburn because, well, guess what? I spent it with a lot of great people. Donald Stewart was there. Sean was there. Evan Spitzberg, a loyal supporter of ours for, last 2 years, I could say. He's probably been one of the longer supporters. We met MH the day before that. Hirsch, who's also a Giants fan. Anthony Medina. There's a couple of guys out there I'm forgetting. But with that being said, it was just a fun experience overall. And I've been in talks with the rest of the guys. We are doing something, but I'm not going to reveal that yet until I get the permission to. So in this video, it's another Roster Bubble Series video. I do a player on the roster bubble who may or may not get cut, go in their background, competition, how they can lose a spot, how they can win a spot, and prediction at the end. So this one's going to be on Max Garcia. Max Garcia was drafted out of Florida by the Denver Broncos in 2015. They also won the Super Bowl that year, so he does have some Super Bowl experience. With that being said, he stayed with them for a few years up until 2018. I should say really 2019. 2019 he signed with the Cardinals, and he was with them until after 2021, and now the New York Giants have him on a 1-year contract. In terms of snaps, in terms of games played, let's talk about games played, snaps, and then stats from this past season. In his rookie year, he played all 16. He only started 5 games. In his second year, he started all 16 games. In his third year, same thing. In his fourth year, he played in 9 games, started 4 of them. The first 2 years with the Cardinals, played in 7 games, played in 14 games, didn't start in any of them. Then 2021, he played in 15 games, and he started 11 of them. In terms of snaps, snap percentage in his first year, 49%. In his second year, 100%. In his third year, 77%. In his fourth year, 40%. Then when he goes to the Cardinals, 0% in his first year. His second year, 7%. In his third year, 76%. So real quickly, what does his competition look like? What does it consist of? He's got Ben Bredesen, who obviously the Giants traded for. Last year they gave up, I believe, a 4th-round pick for him from the Baltimore Ravens. Can play a little bit of center. Actually, he can't really play center because he's only been taking snaps in practice for about this long now. And he can mostly play guard. So I guess they're trying to stretch his possible versatility there. So that's a guy to compete with. Josh Rivas, guard out of Kansas State. I don't know much on him. I don't know if anyone does. Shane Lemieux, he took snaps before the 2020 NFL Draft, and that was pretty much it in terms of versatility. He can play both guard spots, though, so I guess that helps. Jamil Douglas can play guard and center as well. With that being said, he actually has game experience doing both, and mostly as backup lineman. He played with Washington, played with Miami. He also played with Buffalo, so obviously you see the connection. Nick Gates can play all 3, but the problem is he's coming off of a career-threatening, season-ending injury. So there really isn't much expectation for him this season. Just the thoughts on Garcia before we go, how he can win, how he can lose, all that stuff. How he can win? We'll get into that in a sec. He is a guy the Giants signed to a 1-year contract, and he is not going to be here probably more than a year unless he plays outstanding, unless he plays like Nick Gates did in 2019 or something. It's just a 1-year contract to probably get in a guy like Marcus McKeithen to be a depth guy. It's honestly shocking to me that they don't have him starting at left guard. And I believe Garcia's best position is center, just like John Feliciano's, which is why it's being held up. So maybe we see Feliciano actually as the starter, or maybe otherwise. If Feliciano's not doing good, they may kick it over to Garcia to play center. It's going to be really interesting, but Garcia could start. He may not start in the end because they could give it to Lemieux, ride it out until a few games, in terms of, the last couple of games, and then kick it over to Joshua Zudu to see what happens and see if they got something to look forward to the next few seasons. How can he win? Stretch to show his versatility, play well among the ones and twos. He really hasn't gotten ones reps in practice. It's mostly been the twos, stretching from guard to center. And he's got to, show his versatility in camp and in the preseason. He has to play well, too, because guess what? He's played in the NFL for long enough now. 2015, so that's about 9, 8, 7-ish years in the NFL. And that's more, honestly, than you say for most of these guys. Maybe Jamil Douglas has played just as much or a little bit shorter than him in terms of a career span, but he is clearly the most experienced guard coming in. So a lot is, I guess, on the line for him at this point in his career just to make a roster. And I'm not saying he's a guy like Billy Price or Matt Skura, but he's got to put food on the table for his family. He's got to make the money. So he needs to stretch, show his versatility, play well among those ones and twos. And if he doesn't play well against the twos, it's gonna be weird because, well, he's played against ones pretty much all of his career. So we'll see what happens. How can he lose? Sinking in the depth chart, losing reps, getting beat by younger cats, and quiet, but not in a good way. Getting beat by younger cats is not a way to go out. And, if you get hurt, it's one thing. And I don't think Garcia really has too much of an injury history. I think it's just about him being on the bench. But if he gets beat out by a guy like Ben Bredesen, or if he gets beat out by a guy like Jamil Douglas, it just shows maybe he wasn't good enough to come in and actually, contend for a starting spot. Now, some people have him making the roster, some people don't, some people have him starting, some people don't, whatever. That's their predictions. We'll do ours in just a few seconds. But if he gets beat by younger cats, that's, to be honest with you, a little bit sad. Because he's been a player for a couple of years. He's had so much experience. And, it would be surprising to see if Ben Bredesen or Jamil Douglas beats him out for a backup spot. It would feel weird to me. Losing reps, we talked about that a little bit, and sinking in the depth chart. Possibly there could be some injuries at the top. Who knows? What if Shane Lemieux gets injured? What if Glowinski gets injured? What if somebody can't go in practice? Garcia needs to find a way in that situation to shift himself up to the ones. What if Feliciano's not playing well? What if they shift him down to the second center? It can't be Ben Bredesen that goes in there. Garcia is automatically their backup center, slides in. If he plays well, he plays well, and he takes a spot. But anyway, in terms of a prediction, I have been making the 53-man roster. To be real with you guys, he is the only backup center on this roster. Bredesen has played very little in practice, and that I'm saying practice, not games, practice. Jamil Douglas, I just don't think he is as good. And I'm not saying Max Garcia is great, but Garcia is better than Jamil Douglas. I think a lot of people know that, and Douglas has had trouble over the years sticking onto a roster. Garcia has only played with 2 teams. With that being said, he's the only backup center, and he's a solid guard. He's not going to be, the best of the backups. He may be just middle of the pack, but he's gonna give you what you need. If somebody's out, if Glowinski's out for a game, if Feliciano's not playing well, he can easily slide in there. He can't play tackle, but he can easily slide in there for somebody, whether they're injured or they're just not playing well. And I think that's going to be a big part, in terms of staying healthy for the New York Giants this season. Versatility was a big thing that the New York Giants caught on to with the offensive line this offseason. Name all their offensive linemen they got, and you'll see the versatility. I don't know about Rivas, but Bredesen, they're trying to stretch him. Lemieux, they're trying to stretch him a little bit. Jamil Douglas, I mean, he can play center as well. We'll look at all the offensive linemen on the roster. Why not? Evan Neal can play guard and both tackle spots. Josh Azudu can play tackle and guard. Let's see who else. Marcus McKeithen plays guard and center. I mean, there's a lot of versatile pieces just contesting to be on the roster. So there's that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Apologize for the low quality voice. I've been screaming my head off since Friday because of the Yankees. But with that being said, guys, peace out. See you later. Stay cool. Stay tuned for Boys in the Big Apple at 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.